Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Dr. Jasmine over at themomspsychologist.com, and today, or this week actually, is a play challenge week where we are focusing on all things play. So I will be sharing content about play over on Instagram, so be sure to follow me at the Mom Psychologist if you're not already. I'm also doing a free email play challenge, so you can sign up. The link is in the description if you want to sign up for daily play tips straight to your inbox. But I went over on my Instagram today and asked you guys to share with me some of your main challenges when it comes to play, and by far what I heard from most was, okay, Dr. Jasmine, I hate pretend play. It is so boring. What do? I feel so guilty. So I'm going to be talking about that today. I'm also going to be sharing some tips on establishing boundaries around play, because a lot of you guys were like, okay, play turns into hours and hours and I don't enjoy it, and it's hard to deal with the meltdowns that happen when I try to draw boundaries. So that's what we're gonna get into today's video. Give me a thumbs up if you're excited, and let's just get on into it. Okay, so what is play? I mean, there's so many different definitions out there if you type in, what is play on the internet. But really what I think it is it's of course fun and pleasurable by all means. It's also intrinsically motivated, meaning we as adults and children don't need to be rewarded in any way to find play fun and motivating. It's also process oriented, right? Where we're more engaged in the overall process of play rather than the end result. And of course, it is engaging and usually not literal. Okay, so around 18 to 24 months is when children start to engage in pretend play, and then by ages 3 and 4, they have taken off with pretend play. So it tends to be more elaborative, more collaborative, meaning that they want to invite other people to join them on the pretend play, whether that's other little ones, their siblings, or of course you. And so by age 3 and 4 is when I hear a lot of parents start to say they don't enjoy pretend play, right? And I first want to start off by saying that this is completely normal. Okay, if you are struggling with getting into pretend play, if you feel like it's boring, if you feel like it's super repetitive, if you're starting to feel resentful because all you can think about is your endless to-do list and all of the things on your plate, then just please know that you're not alone, and that your feelings are completely normal and valid. And so I want to start off by saying that, but I also want to spend a lot of time talking about what our role is during play, because I think that can keep us a little stuck and make us feel burnt out or stressed when we're playing with our child, right? Because here's the thing, if we're trying to play with our child, if we're trying to entertain them during play, then we're not really going to enjoy it, right? We're going to feel like a lot of this is our work. And what I want to invite you guys to do is to take a step back more and really focus on the fact that play is your child's work, okay? It is super important for them to be able to take the lead and take ownership over their play. So more and more, if we can follow their lead and not entertain them, one, the more they're going to enjoy it, right? And the less power struggles are going to ensue because they feel like you're trying to take over or create a learning lesson or correct them in any way. And also, it's going to liberate you. It's going to empower you to feel like you don't have to entertain them, right? So please know that when your child, even if they're engaging in pretend play, what I want you to do is observe more and speak less. So give yourself permission to stay silent and just observe, right? And what you can do is start to make comments about what you're noticing that they're doing. This is really helpful in helping you stay mindful, because I know a lot of the times during pretend play, it's boring, it's repetitive, and you start just daydreaming about what you got to do or whatever, right? Fantasizing about how you're going to get out of this situation. So if you focus more on just noting what you are seeing in the moment without being too overbearing, right? You don't, be careful not to talk too much, but here and there, you're going to stay silent, you're going to observe, and then here and there, you're going to make comments like, oh, okay, you're putting teddy bear in the bed. It's time for sleep. Oh, okay, it's time to eat. Teddy bear is eating an ice cream cone or whatever it is, right? Just make a couple of statements of what you're observing. This is going to help you stay mindful of what's going on in the play, and it's also going to help your child stay mindful. They're more likely going to concentrate on what they're doing if you narrate that experience for them. So that is my number one thing, is know your role, which your role during play is to follow their lead, and then just make comments here and there, but invite yourself to stay silent. Give yourself permission to just stay silent and just observe what is happening. The other thing I want to say when it comes to play is to avoid playing with your child if you're really not feeling it. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling burdened by play, your child is going to sense that. They're going to know inherently that you don't want to play with them, that your mind is elsewhere. And that is really going to actually have a negative effect in the relationship, right? So if our goal is to foster connection and help with those negative behaviors like the tantrums and clinginess and defiance and aggression, well, actually, when you play with your child, when you're really not feeling it, you're actually going against all your goals. So I want to give you permission to hold off on play until you're actually present, you're actually interested in doing it, and you want to inherently do it. So I get so many questions about, well, Dr. Jasmine, how much time should I be playing with my child every day? There's actually no hard, fast rule when it comes to the amount of time you should be playing with your child, but research is very clear that quality over quantity matters, right? That it's more about the quality of the play, the quality of the interactions and the connections that you're making throughout the day that matter the most. So that's what I would focus on, is giving your child, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, and I don't want to say just 5 to 10 minutes, like that's not enough, because research shows again that that is enough to promote positive parent-child relationships. But so be giving yourself permission to say, okay, 5 to 10 minutes is enough, and I'm going to focus on giving my child quality connection and experience during that 5 to 10 minutes versus trying to stretch yourself to an hour of play when you really don't enjoy it, right? When you really want to put up that boundary, but you feel like you shouldn't because you should be playing with your child all day, and that's just not the case. And that brings me to drawing boundaries around play. So many of you expressed concern and a challenge around feeling like you're playing with your child too much, and it just gets to be too much, and then they start tantruming because you're trying to put a boundary. So here's what I suggest. I suggest that you think about when it works for you to play, right? And work and play around your routine, right? So just like you have times in the day where you eat, where you go to sleep, even when you watch tablet time, that might be on a routine. I encourage you to find times in the day where you can fit playtime into the routine. And so maybe, it depends on your schedule, but maybe you can fit a little chunk of playtime into the morning, maybe after breakfast or whatever. And then in the afternoon or before bedtime, another chunk of time. If you can only do one chunk of time during the day, that's perfectly fine too. But what I want to stress is the importance of building in a routine around playtime. There's so many benefits to this, but the major 2 benefits is that, one, when you need to play with your child, right? And ideally it's a time that works for you, right? So you're more likely to enjoy play when you've kind of knock down a couple things off your to-do list and you don't feel overwhelmed. So ideally you can work it in around a schedule that works for you. And then 2, most importantly, is that your child comes to expect this playtime, right? So there's less meltdowns, less tension, less stress around playtime ending, because they know, okay, well, this is an everyday thing. Mom's gonna play with me again at bedtime, or dad's gonna do this first thing in the morning. So I don't need to stress because I know what's happening. Again, routines help children feel less stressed because they feel like they can predict their environment, and that helps keep them safe, or it helps foster a sense of safety. So build play into your routine, and I even suggest calling it a certain name, right? Is it your special playtime, or I don't know, Jaden and Mom's special playtime? Make it a fun name so that they know, okay, during this time I get Mom or Dad or whoever all to myself, and I get to choose whatever activity I want to do, and they're just going to spend time with me. It's going to be quality time, and we're just going to have a blast. So when it comes to playtime, try to follow their lead. Do any activity that they want to do, so it doesn't have to be pretend play. But of course, if that's what they want to do, then you're like, okay, we're going to do that for this amount of time. And that's why too, having it a part of your routine, and then building some parameters around it, right? So it's not just a never ending hour, 2 hours, 3 hours all day. The playtime, it's okay, it's for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, you decide the amount of time that works for you, and then you give yourself permission to end the playtime, right? So there's parameters around it. So right before playtime is going to end, you can give them a heads up, a warning that playtime is going to end. Okay, in a couple minutes, mommy or daddy or whoever, I'm going to have to get ready for dinner, or I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. You can give them the choice to continue playing, or if possible, or they can transition to another activity. But of course, give them a heads up before playtime is going to end, and then wrap up and let them know when they can expect playtime again. Now, if they ask you throughout the day, oh, mommy or daddy, can you play with me? You can. If you think, okay, you know what, now is a good time, I'm ready, I'm in a good mood, I'm ready to play, then of course you can decide to play with them. But if it's not a good time, then you give them a conditional yes, meaning, okay, you can say something like, oh my gosh, yes, you really want to play with me. I wish that I could play with you too right now. And you let them know what you're doing or why you can't play, and then give them that time when they can expect it, right? So let's make a plan to do our special time right before bedtime, or whenever, right? So give that conditional yes, meaning that you're telling them, we can't do that right now, even though I would love to do that, right? Be positive about this, be reassuring, and then let them know a time that they can expect to play with you again. The other thing that is so crucial about this process is fostering independent playtime. Independent play is a crucial skill for your little one to develop, and it starts during infancy and slowly progresses as they get older, so where they can spend more and more time playing independently. So you want to check my video about how to promote independent play. I go through a step-by-step process on how to gradually promote more and more independent play time with your little one. So be sure to check out that video, because that is something you should definitely be simultaneously working on if your child is constantly asking to play with you, because it really is an important part of their development to be able to play on their own. Again, be sure to sign up for my free email play challenge, where I will be sending you free play tips straight to your inbox. The link is in the description. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you back in the next one. Bye.